Welcome back to sz4 of WWTube. Next up, Germany. Purchases will be 6 submarines, 4 infantry, 2 bombers and 2 tanks at the total cost of 82 IPCs, saving 3 IPCs for next round. Combat. It's going to be, looks like 6 combat movements this turn. First of all, let's start out in France. From Germany, we've got 2 infantry moving in, and we've got 2 bombers moving in also. So that'll be 2 infantry and 2 bombers versus an infantry and a tank of the US. Next battle, we have Northwestern Europe. Here we have 1 German infantry moving in from Germany, and we have 2 fighters in East Poland moving 1, 2 and 3. Both of them are going to have 1 movement left. There's battle number 2 up against 2 British infantry. And battle number 3 is going to be in the Balkans, where there is 3 UK infantry and a tank. From Italy we have 3 tanks moving in, and from East Poland we have a bomber. And also from Caucasus we have a fighter moving in at a movement of 1, 2 and 3 will have 1 movement left, and the bomber will have 4 movement left. And next battle will be in Karelia SSR. We have 2 tanks moving in from the Baltic states. We have a bomber moving in from Germany at the movement of 1, 2, moving into the sea zone 5 first, and then into Karelia. That will be 2 tanks and a bomber up against 2 infantry and a tank. And the last few moves are just blitzing, so we'll do that now. We've got 1 tank in East Poland. It's just going to blitz through Ukraine into Caucasus, which is already owned by Germany or controlled by Germany. And we have 1 tank in Eastern Ukraine, which is going to move through Russia and end its movement in Novosibirsk. So that's +2 and +2. So Germany will come up to 34 and Russia will come down to 11 IPCs. Now let's get rolling. We have 4 actual battles to resolve now. Actually, I did mark this one here also. This tank is going to blitz through Archangel into Urals. Completely forgot about that one. So Archangel is also captured, bringing the Germans up to 36, and Russia comes down to 9. So I'll mark that one too. I'm going to set up all of these battles and then we'll get rolling. Starting out with the battle for France, we've got 2 German infantry and 2 bombers. So that's 2 at 2 and 2 at 4 or less. Oops, let me get rid of these. Come on, Germany. We have just 1 hit. Bombers have failed, or one of them did. Returning fire, we've got 1 at 2 for the infantry and 1 at 3 for the tank. That one doesn't count because it didn't go in, and it was destiny to be a hit. So 1 hit each. The Americans lose an infantry and the Germans also lose an infantry, and we will continue, of course, this battle. So we're going to go again with this time 1 at 1 and 2 at 4. And there's just one hit again. And this is a great chance for the USA to deny capture of France. This could be a painful decision for me to make, especially as I forgot to say I'm actually filling in for Prozac. So let's hope this is a miss. It's a hit. Ach Scheiße, as the Germans would say. Well, okay, so the Germans will, well, the can't even talk. This is killing me, guys. The Americans lose a tank. And what would Prozac do here? I might have to text him and get back to you guys. So I'm going to continue. We'll leave this one pending, and we still have one casualty to take for the Germans here. Next up is the battle for Urals, where we have a tank up against a Russian infantry. I'm going to roll both at the same time. We have the yellow being the tank and the blue being the infantry. Let's go. Let's see what will happen here. We have, oh, the Russians go down with a bang. Look at that. Well, they don't go down with a bang. The Germans go down without a bang, I should say, really. The Russians have killed the German tank. Well, that was disappointing. Well done though to the Russians. He goes back on the board. A hero. And next up we have the battle for Northwestern Europe, where we have one infantry and two fighters up against two German infantry. So for this one we've got 1 at 1 and 2 at 3. And since there's all the colours are different, I'm going to roll all of them at the same time. The yellows are the fighters, the green is the infantry, and the two blues are the British infantry. And we have 2 hits with the fighters, which will eliminate the British infantry. Both British infantry missed, as well as the German infantry. So the Germans will capture Northwestern Europe, and fighters will go back in there, ready to land in a moment. And we need to update the IPC chart. I'll do that in a moment as well. And the final 2 battles. You know what? I'm taking a bomber. I think I'm just going to take a bomber. Sorry, Prozac. So back in France, it's going to be 1 infantry and 1 bomber. And we also need to update the chart for that. Let's go up here to the battle for Karelia. We've got 2 Russian infantry and 1 Russian tank defending against 2 German tanks and a bomber. Starting out with the attackers, 2 at 3 and 1 at 4. And we've got 2 hits. Pretty good. So of course the Russian infantry are going to come out. And returning fire, we've got the 2 Russian infantry, 2 blues and 1 yellow for the tank. And we've got 1 hit, so that's 1 tank dead, the cost of 2 Russian infantry. And next round of combat, once again we're going to roll for the tank and the bomber. And we've got 1 hit, and the tank still has a chance once again to deny Germans the capture of Karelia. So let's see, will the Russian tank bring down a German tank? Sorry, let's find out. Yes, he did not capture. He did not destroy the German tank. It's been a long day, guys. I'm sorry. So I'm going to put the tank up here in Karelia, as well as the bomber. And we're going to go to the final battle this turn. Feels like ages since I've actually been rolling any dice like this. Poor old Japan. Here we have quite an interesting battle as well. Although I'm sure this has got to be in the Germans' favour. We got 3 tanks and a bomber against 3 infantry and a tank. That sounds pretty promising. So let's get 3 yellows and a red. 3. We have the fighter too. So it's 4 yellows and a red for the 3 tanks and fighter and the 1 bomber. Let's see how many hits we get. We get 2 hits. Now returning fire, we've got the 3 British infantry and 1 tank, 3 or less. Let's see what damage they can do here. We've got 2 hits, 2 for 2. So 2 British infantry are coming out, and I suppose the 2 German tanks are going to come out as well. So we're going to continue. Of course, we've got 2 at 3 now and 1 at 4. So come on guys, let's see if we can finish the Brits off here in the Balkans. Need 2 hits. We've got 2 hits. The British more than capable of denying capture here of the Balkans. Let's see how many hits they can get, if any. 2 hits would be beautiful here for the Brits. But will they make 1? Let's find out. They've got 1 hit. Okay, so I'm going to take the tank. And that was the end of the battle. So now we can move on to the non-combat phase, finally. This has taken longer than I thought. Sorry for that, guys. So the British will hold on to the Balkans. And this fighter has 1 movement left, will move to Germany. The bomber has 4 left, will also move to Germany. This bomber in France, back to Germany, had about 5 movement left. We've got 2 fighters here in northwestern Europe. They've got no choice, they're coming back to Germany. Up here we've got a bomber with 4 left, it's going to come back to Germany. And that's it for the non-combat. We're going to update the IPC chart. So we've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for Germany. So from 36 to 46. The British come down 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 38. And Russia comes down to 1, 2 for Karelia SSR. I think I've done this right. So Germany controls now all of those in Europe, plus Leningrad. And have I forgotten to do anything? I think that's it. Alright then, let's place units now. We've got 6 submarines going into Sea Zone 5, 4 infantry going into Germany. We've got 2 bombers going into Caucasus and 2 tanks also going into Caucasus. And finally, collect income. Germany is at a base of 46, I believe. We'll collect an additional 15 IPCs for controlling all 3 of its national objectives, and saved 3 IPCs at the beginning of the turn. So we'll collect a grand total of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 64 IPCs collected for Germany this turn. Quick recap of the board. In France we have 1 infantry. Northwestern Europe, 1 infantry. Germany, 4 infantry. 3 fighters and 3 bombers. Sea Zone 5, 7 submarines. Karelia SSR, 1 tank. Caucasus has 2 infantry, 3 tanks and 2 bombers. There's 1 tank in Novosibirsk. And that's it. Next to go is the UK, and I look forward to this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Also, I broke my lamp. Sorry for the lighting.